and welcome to the Super Bowl edition of Pickswise Playbook. I am your host, Chris Rose, joined, as always, and for the final time this season, by the one and only Jared Smith and our former resident offensive lineman in NFL circles, Ross Tucker. Gentlemen, it's like the last day of school. Will you sign my yearbook for me, Ross?
No, I won't. Although, you know what's funny about that? I actually have my yearbook, and I need to look at that and look through it before I let my daughters actually look through it, because I don't know exactly what all of my friends might have said to me in my yearbook. So that's not like a free reign. I will say this. Shout out to everybody that watched us all year, and you get Chris's inside joke when he says, as always, start of the show, because that's what he said the first episode. The first week, he said, I'm joined, as always, by Jared and Ross. As always, it was our first show. That's true. I love that you kept that consistency, Chris. People can go back and watch all the other episodes. We got every bet right the entire season. It's hard to believe.
Every single one. Listen, we got a lot of ground to cover. We will certainly cover the game and where our guys like to put their money. But is there a word of caution? Because there's so much out there for this particular game when it comes to individual bets that you can place on this, Jared. What do you say to everybody?
Yeah, you can get carried away. I think it was like 1,100 props at certain sports. I mean, thousands of props and permutations, cross-sport props. You can bet on Joe Burrow's this compared to what, a player in the NBA is going to do on Saturday or Sunday. So there's all kinds of things that you can bet on. I think the best thing to do is to treat this like it's a regular – I know this sounds really mundane. Just treat it like it's a regular football game. Go through your process. Try to –
Oh, my God. What are you turning into, a cliched coach here? I mean, what are you trying to fire up Ross for just another game here?
We're going to take it one game at a time, one bet at a time. And you just try to correlate your props to what you think is going to happen in the game, because everything we've heard from odds makers this week and in prior weeks in the postseason, you're not going to find a ton of value on the spread or the total. Those markets have been sharpened to the point where you can bet it, of course, but I wouldn't risk, hey, all in, I'm seeing so much value on this side or total, because the numbers are just so strong. So pick your props, have some fun, reduce your bankroll, maybe go a half unit on all the props instead of a full unit, so you can play more and have a little bit of fun. It is the Super Bowl after all.
Yeah, I mean, I got to totally disagree. I am all in on the Bengals. I have still not seen any photos or video of the Rams team playing, even landing yet, okay? So as far as I know, I'm concerned, these guys aren't even going to show up. No. I thought plenty of video evidence and pictures of the Bengals team playing landing. For all we know, the Rams are scared that their plane still hasn't landed. Bet every bet you can on the Bengals right now, while it looks like the Rams might forfeit.
I heard that OBJ is stuck in an Uber share on the 101 right now, but we'll keep you posted throughout the next 40 or so minutes on this show. Also, there's still opportunity for fans to enjoy thanks to Pickswise as well, Jared, right?
Oh, yeah. We're doing our normal giveaways first on the YouTube side. Comment your number one best bet. You have to be a subscribing commenter. If you hit that best bet, Pickswise will randomly select, of course, a subscribing commenter, and you will win $100. Also, how about this? The touchdown, by the way, we've been on fire with the touchdowns during the postseason. We are upping the ante for the Super Bowl. Usually it's 100 bones. We're doubling that. $200 is going to be given away to a lucky Pickswise retweeter if Ross or I get one of the touchdown props correct. We will do that at the end of the show. We have not gotten one wrong yet. Knock on wood, of course. 3 for 3 during the postseason. Every week we have had a correct touchdown score. We'll see if we can finish off the sweep here in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you have to follow us and then retweet it. It is that simple. All right, once again, we'll break down the big game team-wise in just a bit, but let's start out with the individual numbers. And since Ross is here and all offensive linemen prefer to run the ball instead of pass block, let's talk about the running backs. And we will start with Joe Mixon, who was really, really good in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. It was the first time in about 2 months he had more than 70 rushing yards. So, Jared, what do you see about Joe Mixon on the ground against this Rams defense?
Yeah, 64.5 is the total. Looking at that, he's only gone over twice recently, and one of those was by the hook. and the other one was the 88 in the AFC Championship game. And that's against a Chiefs team that really struggles to stop the run, 31st in success rate this season. The Rams are a top 10 team in rush defense success rate. I think they're going to face a much stiffer challenge in this game. And also game script, if it is kind of the way that we've seen the prior Bengals game scripts go, especially in the title game, Chiefs get off to the hot start, the Bengals maybe abandon the run. If that's how it plays out on Sunday, Rams get off to the hot start, and then you see the running game be a little bit less of a factor later on for the Bengals. I think this stays under, and I think it's because of the Joe Burrow factor. They're going to want the ball in his hands, especially in the second half. And if the game script plays out the way I think, the Bengals might be needing to play catch-up, which will abandon the run.
It's an interesting number. It really depends on the Bengals coaching staff, what their philosophy is going into this one. Mm-hmm. If they choose to try to protect the offensive line by running the ball like they did against the Chiefs, I think he has a chance to go over. They actually ran their best in overtime against the Chiefs. I mean, they ran the ball down the Chiefs' throat in overtime of that game. Does that carry over to the Super Bowl? Probably not. They also ran the ball on first down a ton against the Chiefs. I don't understand really why they did that. It wasn't overly effective. I wouldn't recommend it. I think they were probably trying to protect the offensive line, but really they just got the offensive line in a lot of second and third and long situations. I don't think that's going to cut it this week. I believe that this number will go under as well. If it goes over, it's a great sign for the Bengals. I don't see it.
All right, real quickly, Rams rushing game. We heard Sean McVay say that Darrell Henderson has got a shot. It's been a while since he's played. So now you got a crowded backfield if he's active with Henderson, with Akers, with Sonny Michel. The number on Sonny Michel, Ross, is very low, but with a three-headed monster out there, what do you do?
I don't think that Henderson is going to play, or if he does, I don't think it'll be much. That's kind of tough to just put a guy back out there that hasn't played in so long. Sonny Michel, I mean, that's 3 runs, maybe 4 runs. Akers has not been as productive the last few weeks. He's fumbled a couple times. I kind of like the over for Sonny Michel.
Love the over here. Michel was the Super Bowl workhorse for the Pats against the Rams. He has experience in this game. Sometimes when you're playing in the Super Bowl for the first time, I'm not saying it's going to happen to Cam Akers, but we've seen him get a little slippery with the grip. 2.8 yards per carry, too, in the postseason for Akers. He has not been effective. Right. And again, game script here. If the Rams have a lead, what have we seen from Sean McVay? Pack it in, run the ball. And Michel has kind of been the more effective. He actually outsnapped Akers in the title game. I know Cam had the injury that forced him to the sidelines for a bit, but still, Michel's been running hot of late, and 18.5. I mean, that's really one big run, 3 or 4 medium-sized runs. I think that's a really strong bet to the over for me.
Okay, quickly before we move on to the passing game, Ross, you're focused on the quarterback's legs.
Yeah, I love them both. Over 5.5 yards for Matthew Stafford. He has run more in the postseason than people realize. These numbers are based on the whole totality of the season. Quarterbacks run more in the playoffs than they do in the regular season, almost across the board. Burrow's a little bit higher at 11.5 yards, but he scrambled for 4 third-down conversions against the Chiefs. I think he's got 1 or 2 in him against the Rams. I'll go over on both quarterback rushing yard props.
Burrow's my best bet for the Super Bowl.
He's what?
The Burrow 11.5 yards is my favorite play of the entire prop card. I don't understand how it's this low. He's going to be running for his life in this game with this Rams defensive line. Again, what are you saving him for? You're going to go for that extra yard. So 11.5, I've seen 12.5 in some shops, and I just think it's too low for a guy who has some giddy up. I mean, he's not, Peyton Manning back there. He can run, and he had 25 in the AFC Championship game. I thought this number was going to be in the low teens, 14, 15. And game script to me, the ball is going to be in his hands almost every snap, I think, in the second half. So
wait till the Bengals are on the cusp of winning this thing, and he's at 13 yards and he takes 3 knees. I can't wait to see you guys.
That would suck.
First trivia question of the day. We're leaving the ground game. Who is the last running back to win Super Bowl MVP? The last running back to win Super Bowl MVP.
Does Ross know? And he's just waiting for
No.
Watch the game.
No.
Yeah.
This is one where I'd like to have all the Super Bowls pulled up. So
Terrell Davis?
Jared Smith.
Let's go.
That's amazing. It's been that long?
Super Bowl 32.
It has been a while.
Oh, gosh. I was thinking a lot more
recent
recent than that. I thought there had to be some running back in the last 25 years.
That just came to me like a lightning bolt.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I was not thinking that long ago. I'm surprised nobody in the 2000s or otherwise did it.
Sorry. It's a quarterback award. Speaking of quarterbacks, here we go. The fun stuff. Matthew Stafford has been on a roll. He's averaging more than 300 yards per game in the playoffs. Will that continue, Jared?
So the way that I view the quarterback props in this game, if you're going to bet over in any of them, just bet them to win the MVP. Because if Stafford goes for 300 and the Rams win, he's winning the MVP. Unless there's some like absurd 3-sack, forced fumble defensive play, which could happen, obviously. But you're getting better odds, I think, on the MVP. You're getting some plus money on both quarterbacks. So that's how I would view the betting standpoint. If you're just looking to play those props, if you're in a pool, you're in some kind of pick 'em, I would say under on Stafford, over on Burrow. And that's just because of the game script that I see playing out, where the Bengals really struggle early in the game, and then late they're going to have to throw it a bunch. Completions could be an over as well. I saw 23, 24 for that number. And for Stafford, I think they're going to protect him, especially if the Rams take an early lead. We saw the arm punt against the Niners. We've seen him throw some hellacious pick sixes this year, leads the league in them. So game script to me denotes under for Stafford, over for Burrow, and all the quarterback props.
Kind of like the under for Stafford as well. I think the Rams like to try to run the ball if they can. I think that's what McVay likes to do more than people realize. And I don't think they want to put it all on Matthew Stafford's shoulders. And I also think the Bengals have a pretty good pass defense. Their safeties are excellent. Mike Hilton is as good of a nickelback as there is in the league, matched up with Cooper Kupp. I just don't think the matchups on the outside are as favorable as you might think. I think they might try to run it more.
So you talked a little bit, Jared, about the Super Bowl MVP. It has 55% of the time it's gone to a quarterback, 31 out of 56 times. And people say, well, wait a second, there's only been 55 Super Bowls at this point. Remember, there was a shared Super Bowl MVP with Randy White and Harvey Martin, Super Bowl 12. So you have a better chance on a coin flip of one of these two guys winning it. I don't know.
Yeah, see, to me, the MVP is I'm going
exhale. You okay, Jared? Why are you so disappointed with that?
Because you're right, but all of my bets for MVP award, none of them are quarterbacks. Because I like to take the horse racing approach. I like to try to knock the favorite out, and that's where the market opens up. And I'm again, the game script. It's all about the game script. This is a Hollywood story, right? We're going to be Quentin Tarantino. We're going to write out the game script. Rams jump out to an early lead. Maybe Odell or Cooper Kupp makes a big play. Bengals come back late. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd makes the big sack, strip, fumble, tip pass to tilt the game in the Rams' favor. If that's the way the game script plays out, and this game stays under, and the Rams win a tight one, we've seen precedent for the defensive players to win this award. Von Miller's won it very recently. Aaron Donald is going to get a ton of attention because he is not going to win Defensive Player of the Year because TJ Watt had an amazing season. So I lean away from the quarterbacks here. I think Cooper Kupp's a great option too. If he goes over those prop numbers, he's got a chance to win this award, but then you've got to consider Stafford as well. So I'm fading the favorites. I'm fading the quarterbacks. I'm going Kupp, Miller, Floyd, and Donald as my 4 MVP picks.
I've heard so many people say, my surprise MVP pick, Aaron Donald. He might have 2 or 3 sacks. I think it's going to be a low.
It's 25-1. It's a long shot.
Don't tell anybody, okay? I mean, I've had at least 10 people say that to me. okay, over the last week or so. You know what that tells me? It's not going to be Aaron Donald. It's going to be Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow. You can talk yourself into these other stories, but it's just not happening. I mean, the next most likely guys are Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp, but even for those guys, they're entirely dependent on the quarterback. It has to be like Stafford has 2 or 3 picks and Kupp has 10 catches, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns for it to be him and not Stafford. It's the quarterbacks, and they're both still plus money.
You want more trivia?
Yes.
I'm on a roll.
Okay. This is double quarterback trivia. This is only the second time in Super Bowl history starting quarterbacks were picked number 1 overall.
I know this one. I'll let Jared have a shot at it.
No, this is going to take me a minute.
It shouldn't.
It's within the last 10 years, Jared. Trying to help you out here.
But now you're putting me on the spot. I have nowhere to go but down after this.
I know. That's what makes it fun.
Which is kind of why it's fun for us.
Yeah. Is it the Colts? Is it Peyton Manning? No. Number 1 overall.
You can't try to figure it out. Okay. We don't look. There's only a 45-minute show.
I know. So that's
Cam Newton and Peyton Manning. Broncos.
So it wasn't the Colts, but it was Peyton Manning, Cam Newton. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So we're even 1-1. We'll break the tie later, I'm sure.
Yeah. You know what would be really compelling content, by the way? If the whole next 30 minutes of the show was just Jared being like,
I'm sure our bosses would love that.
Is it maybe cut that up, put that on social.
It has to come to me like a lightning bolt. There's a lot going on up here this week. It's a busy week.
God knows you got enough space up there. Look at that cranium. Ross, would you rather have $1 million or Jared's head full of quarters?
$1 million. I don't want quarters. I don't want that many quarters.
We wouldn't know what to do with them. Laundromat down the street in PA here is killing it on a Friday night. Okay, let's get back to this thing. So we talk about the wide receivers. Kupp and Chase, they were great during the regular season. They have continued to shine during the postseason. They each have a pair of 100-yard games. Do we expect that run to continue, Ross?
Well, I'm not taking Cooper Kupp under. I mean, I've watched him play too many games this year. I'm not doing that. It's a really high number, 104.5. You never see a number that high. But the guy has been as automatic this year as any receiver ever. I'm not taking the under. That would be a miserable game to watching and taking the Cooper Kupp under because you're just a couple plays away from losing that bet. I don't know that I'm all over the over, but I'm definitely not taking the under. Chase is interesting. I know Jalen Ramsey said, put me on the best guy. I'll go. That's just not what they've done, though. It's not what the Rams have done this year. I don't think that is what they'll do. And I do think that's the Bengals' best chance for success is if Ramsey's in the slot and they go with one single high safety middle of the field, just throwing it up to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the outside against the Rams corners. So I would kind of lean over for both these guys, top level guys, Chase and Kupp.
Yeah, the Rams have a fascinating defensive strategy. They don't like to stack the box. They don't like to commit guys in there on early downs. That's why, maybe on early downs, the Bengals will have a little more success running the ball, but that could also be a disguise. They like to play a lot of zone, and they like to let Ramsey drift, and we'll see what the matchups do look like. On the Rams side, I'm fascinated at these matchups. Kupp in the slot on Hilton's going to be great. I think Awuzie has a plus matchup on Odell. I think that cancels each other out a little bit. He's their top cover corner on the outside. And what that does is it sets up a matchup potentially with Van Jefferson going up against Eli Apple. And I love Van Jefferson in that matchup. That is a matchup where I think Van can have some success, especially deep down the field. And this might surprise you, but yards per reception this year, Jefferson has significantly higher average than Cooper Kupp and Odell. 16 yards per reception this year for Jefferson. Kupp's at 13.5. Odell's in the mid-11s. And I think that's an over long receptions prop dream bet right there at 17.5 for Van Jefferson. There will be at least one deep shot where he tests Eli Apple in this game. Maybe it turns out to be a DPI. That's been an issue for him this year. But I think Van Jefferson has the sneaky good matchup of the 3 Rams wide receivers in this game.
All right, let's go over some other receiving digits that are out there. OBJ is coming off his best game in years, it feels like. His first 100-yard effort as a Ram. What do you think with the number that's up there, Ross?
Yeah, it's 61.5 receiving yards for Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. That's a good number. I mean, let's be honest. These are almost all good numbers. I do think that this is a showcase game for him. So I would probably lean over, but I feel like I'm leaning over too much. I will say this. I'll lean under on Jared's Van Jefferson there. They just haven't thrown the ball very much. I'll go over on Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, I think volume is the issue with Jefferson. He's coming off of a game where he didn't have a ton of volume. I agree. I'm kind of torn on Odell. I think Awuzie wins that matchup. I think if that's the matchup that it is for most of the game, I think Awuzie can have some success out there. But Odell's certainly capable of going over. Higgins at 69.5. I mean, if the coverage again rolls towards zone and Burrow just feeds whoever's open, you're getting a much more favorable number on Higgins than you are on Jamar Chase. And Higgins had a tremendous AFC Championship game. P. Ryan at 10.5. That's a game script bet. Same with Joe Mixon, 3.5 total receptions. If game script dictates the Rams are ahead and the Bengals are throwing it a lot, you'll see a lot of P. Ryan out of the backfield. You'll see a lot of Mixon out of the backfield. So I would lean over on those two guys. But I agree. I am feeling a little over heavy. Most of the props stay under. I know in our head we like to bet overs, but most of the props in the Super Bowl stay under. It's all about picking your spots right.
All right, a couple of things here real quickly. I want to touch on T. Higgins just to give people some context here. Since week 12, only 2 receivers are averaging more yards per game than T. Higgins. It's Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson, 95 yards per game. The other thing is we talked about the Bengals running backs in terms of receiving yards and number of receptions. Ross, they went screen heavy against Kansas City. Do you see them doing the same against the Rams?
Yes, I do. Because that's a way to slow down the D-line. That's a way to help out the offensive line. I like the Samaje Perine over 10.5 receiving yards. I don't know about Mixon getting more than 3 catches. I don't like that one. I would go under on the volume there for Mixon. But I think Perine catches a screen pass, maybe 2, and hits the 10.5 pretty easily. That's one I like a lot.
Is it just me, or does Samaje Perine look like he's about 63 and is like a retired power lifter?
No, I can see that on the face for sure.
Right?
I
By
also
the way, don't
feel
tell
like
him I said that.
I also feel like if I'm not sure who a team's backup running back is, I just say Perine. I'm like, yeah, I mean, look, Fournette can have a good game, but Perine.
Over under 2.5 Perines in the league right now.
Under.
LaMichael, Samaje. Sure, there's more.
No, there's. I take that bet. Under 2.5.
Not a cousin? Can't be a cousin? Just curious. All right, let's get to the defensive side of the football. Jared, how do you look at defensive props?
Well, again, it's all about game script. I think when you look at this specific one that I'm targeting, the over 5.5 sacks, you have to talk about just the pass blocking for the Bengals, and they're a bottom 5 team in win rate. The Rams' pass rush win rate is number 1 in the league. We've talked a lot about the Rams getting after Joe Burrow. I think the Bengals will scheme something up to get the ball out of his hands quickly. He was chased, pressured, not sacked a whole bunch in the AFC Championship game. But on the other side, if you're talking about the Bengals trying to sack Matthew Stafford, they had 4 sacks in the AFC Championship game against Patrick Mahomes, who's, I know that their offensive line's been up and down this year. It's been better of late, but he's a tough quarterback to sack too. So I think both teams are going to contribute to this total of 5.5. It's plus money to the over. I like it there. And we'd be remiss if it's a defensive prop game chatter not to at least handicap the refereeing situation. We talk about the refs a lot when we're talking about gambling. Ron Torbert's crew, how about this? And I know it's an all-star crew, but Ron Torbert has coached the most Rams games, has reffed the most Rams games in the Sean McVay era, and the Rams are 6-1.
Was that a Freudian slip, by the way?
Maybe. The Rams are 6-1 in games that Torbert referees. And you know this, guys, that when you're refereeing a certain team, they will reveal some of the weird, formations or plays that they might be running before the game. So the referees are aware of it and they don't call them for some weird illegal formation. So the fact that Torbert's a little more familiar with the Rams, maybe it doesn't matter, but I think the referee situation is certainly worth mentioning considering it plays a huge factor in the outcome of the game.
What do you want from me?
Ross.
Yeah, what do you want from me?
Do you want anything on defense?
Or refereeing?
Any interest on anything over there or special teams?
I want to know what Ron Torbert's all-time coaching record is. I know he's 6-1 when he's coaching the Rams.
It's 0-0. He is undefeated.
Coaching record.
He's undefeated.
That's what I want to know. No, I'm ready for kicking. Let's talk kicking.
Okay.
Oh. Do it.
The over-under is 3.5 total field goals. Really like the over. I know that's a lot of field goals, but both these teams actually do a pretty good job of holding their opponent to field goals. And McPherson, if you want to have a really wild MVP bet, it would be McPherson.
Get out of here.
No.
Vinatieri didn't even win the year that he hit the game winner. He's not winning the MVP.
That's not happening.
The kicker has never won MVP. There is no.
It's not happening.
I will take that.
Am I allowed to say things on the show or no?
No.
Yes.
Not if you're giving out a
delegate to Pennsylvania.
I'm trying to give a huge long shot MVP candidate if you would like it. If the game goes under, if the final score is 19-17 and Evan McPherson has 4 field goals, and they're all over 48 yards, 55, and he makes the game winner, that's a decent long shot. Not the Aaron Donald, okay? Like, I'm actually giving a real long shot here, okay?
What about Leonard Floyd at 200-1? That's not a good long shot. What if he has 3 sacks in the game and a forced fumble on the final drive?
That's a terrible. Leonard Floyd, Evan McPherson has a better chance than Leonard Floyd.
Well, the odds
Evan McPherson has a better chance at MVP than Leonard Floyd.
But game script to me, there you go. And Jack, the voice of reason, 5th most bet on for MVP. The public.
Yeah, you know why? Because the public knows who to bet on for MVP. Oh, wait. Let me give you guys a little bit of advice.
Back the public. Whatever.
When it comes to needle in the haystack bets, always follow the public. Those people, they know what they're talking about.
Ross Tucker's a man of the people.
Okay, I know this is a little off script, but Jared, how quickly can you find this? And it just popped in my head.
You got it.
Is there value on a Matthew Stafford pick 6? He led
so you should just play the defensive touchdown.
Got it.
Anytime touchdown score, the Rams, I believe. I saw it around 4-1-ish. Yeah. Wow. 6-1. Actually, no, it'd be the Bengals. Excuse me. It'd be the Bengals. I apologize. I need to go to the Bengals side. It would probably be around the same price, actually. But that's how I would play it. Defensive, or you get a special teams touchdown in there too.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there since he leads the NFL in pick 6s and has like the 4th most all time in the history of the sport. So
it's crazy.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anything else on Evan McPherson before we move on, Ross?
Evan McPherson, anytime touchdown, 1,000,000-1.
Evan MVP Pearson, you mean? I mean, his name is almost MVP. Remove like the that. C and put the V in, and it's MV Pearson.
Ross, if he wins the MVP, I will drive to your location, Harrisburg, right in that area. I'll buy you 1,000 tasty cake devil dog, right? Isn't that what they eat at suburbs of Philly? The tasty cakes, right?
Yes. I would want peanut butter candy cakes and butterscotch crimpets, please.
100 boxes delivered right to you.
That would be amazing. That would make me fat again, though, so probably not the best idea. Just send me money. You can negotiate
the amount. It can be less than 100 because I don't want to make you too big.
Okay, so my wife always asks me about this silly stuff that we're about to talk about, but we will. Novelty props.
Big deal.
It is a big deal, right? And you can only go limited, right? With this sort of stuff.
And only certain, it's a limit, and there's only a few of them that you can legally bet on. There's a bunch of them you can illegally bet on, but we won't talk about those.
So
they're important though, Chris. Like this is how there's a lot of people that don't know that much about football, but they watch the game, they watch the Super Bowl, they want to be involved, and they know about Gatorade colors, they know about a coin toss. These are things that they feel like they can watch and have some engagement in because they don't really know, the receiving yardage prop for Samaje Perine.
It's true.
So which one of these do you look at and you're like, okay, it's not ridiculous. I'll do it too. Anything, Gatorade color, length of the national anthem, heads or tails at the coin flip.
I'll say this about the coin flip. If you're going to
a couple of things. One is I like the odds on yellow, green, lime for the Gatorade. Plus 450, that's the most common Gatorade flavor. I don't know how orange and blue.
How do you know that?
I'm just making it up. I don't really know that, but in my whole experience as a human being, I've seen a lot more lemon lime Gatorade than I have orange or blue. I don't understand the odds. So if you're going to pick Gatorade color, either find out from an equipment manager what color it's going to be, get some inside information, or go lemon lime. As for the coin toss, always go tails. Have you guys ever seen a coin? Okay. The head juts out a little bit. The head is big. I know a lot about big heads. They're heavy. It's not really 50-50. When they flip the coin, the head like sticks out. So the head's like, so it's more likely to land on the head. Tails wins like 58% of the time, I think.
That's
Jared. Jared, you have 30 seconds, and I cannot take any more of this. Please.
Well, here, don't lay more than 5 cents on the coin toss if you are going, because it's 50-50. I don't care what Ross says. It's 50-50 odds on both sides. And if you're laying minus 105, you're making a bad bet anyway, so you shouldn't be betting for a lot. If you're laying minus 110 on a coin toss, don't. Gatorade, I'm looking at the last 10 years. It's never been 2 straight years of the same color. It's always alternated. Ooh. It was blue last year, so eliminate blue. It's not going to be blue this year. I would go red. What is it, 10-1? 8-1? Yeah, I would go red, 8-1, official answer. And tails on the coin toss because
could you imagine?
Right, tails never fails.
Red Gatorade on McVay's hair. That's just
or the Bengals kind of orange. Well, orange is the favorite. I wouldn't bet the favorite there. That's silly too.
All right, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, move on.
There will be some touchdowns scored, although the last time the Rams played in the Super Bowl, they did not score one. They only scored 3 points, which is tied for the fewest in the Super Bowl. But, Ross, people are paying attention. They follow us on Twitter. They want to retweet because they want a shot at the coin. Help them out. And you guys have been great in this area, so let's go.
Well, I mean, they should. We've been awesome. I'm going to give a couple. If you want a long shot, because I like to give a long shot in addition to a likely one, so you get the $200. The long shot, once again, Matthew Stafford, plus 800. Here's the logic, okay? There's a decent chance that there's pass interference in the end zone. Get the ball at the 1, quarterback sneak. He's done it twice in the playoffs already. So if you want a long shot, that's a big secret. Go with Matthew Stafford plus 800, score a touchdown.
So I want people to win $200. So I'll go Cooper Kupp because it's the most likely scenario that plays out, and he is virtually unstoppable. He's been everywhere in the red zone. So Cooper Kupp for my Rams pick.
Bengals pick Jamar Chase. They feed that guy. I mean, even in the red zone, they force feed that guy. I'm surprised that he's got better odds than Mixon. Mixon plus 100, Chase plus 110. Love Jamar Chase plus 110. He's not going to be in the slot. He's not going against Jalen Ramsey. They get down near the red zone. He might be the smallest receiver I've ever seen that the team has that much confidence in him in jump ball, goal line fade situations. They don't care that he's not that big. They just think he'll catch anyway, and he does.
Yeah, Higgins for me, you're getting a good price on him. T. Higgins at right around 175. He's been the guy for the Bengals, I think, besides Chase. If Uzoma, do we have an update on Uzoma? Is he playing in this game?
We don't know. So he says it's the biggest game of my life. I am definitely playing, and it sounds like he has a better chance than Tyler Higbee. They have very similar MCL injuries, is what we're hearing, but we don't know.
Tough, because Uzama would have been the guy I would have went to. He's kind of the other red zone target that Burrow loves. But I want to make sure you guys are covered here with both Bengals wide receivers, because, again, game script to me is going to dictate the Rams are going to be ahead. The Bengals are going to be throwing the ball. So we'll go T. Higgins for the Bengals pick.
So here's what I would say about that. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I was waiting for something.
I was waiting for him to pass
from my Ivy Leaguer, and I got nothing. I thought you were
had
going back to
something
Evan
really
McPherson.
interesting to say, and then I totally forgot it.
Oh my
I was
God.
going to play off of what Jared just said, and I totally forgot it. It might come to me in the next couple minutes.
We'll keep an eye out.
Can we get? Let's get to the game here. So the numbers are whatever the numbers are right now. Where do you think they're going to end up by kick, Jared? And this is really a two-part question, but I'll start with that.
Yeah, so they've been pretty steady all week. We saw the initial move. The initial sharp money was Rams and under. That pushed it from 3.5 to 4.5, and then from 49.5 down to 48.5. It's been hovering around there all week. All of the action reports we're getting from the sports books say the Rams and the Bengals on the spread, you're getting some decent two-way action. On the money line, it's pretty consistently ticket count-wise on the Bengals. And that's normal in the Super Bowl. The underdog on the money line is going to get the majority of the tickets. And what that has done, at times, it's pushed down the Rams money line price down to a pretty favorable buy. I got it at minus 180, and usually a 4.5 point. First of all, let's start at 4. A 4-point favorite usually is minus 190. That's kind of where the money line in the sand is drawn. At 4.5, it should be 200 or higher, and it's sitting around 200 now. But if you got in earlier in the week, minus 180, that's a favorable price on the Rams money line. So it looks like Rams under on the sharp side, but on the public side, the Bengals money line, very popular pick. And I think it closes right around where it is, 4.5. 48.5 and minus 200 on the Rams for the money line.
I remember what I was going to say.
So exciting. Yes.
I don't think Uzama plays. If he does, I don't think he's effective. I was on the sideline, and Jared was talking about Uzama, and I was going to say, that did not look good.
No, it didn't.
I mean, when I was on the sideline there, I know what he's saying. I know he threw the brace off. Look, he might play. I just don't think he's going to be very effective. Most of the books I saw don't have any props up for him, but if they do, especially after they say he's going to play, take the under.
Yeah.
I feel much better now. I feel much better.
Yeah, I do too, because that would have bothered me that the last show I had something groundbreaking to say and I couldn't think of it. So I told you I'd remember.
Got to leave it out on the field, Ross.
I'm leaving it all out on the YouTube.
Okay. So, Ross, do you have a favorite here? Do you have you already placed your bet?
I don't like the Bengals getting the points in this game.
Uh-oh.
I
love them.
I love the Bengals getting the points again. So, first of all, let me just say this, okay? And I think I need to say this for America.
And the
unless
world.
You're a Rams fan, and there's like 10 of them, or unless you bet on the Rams, if you root for the Rams in this game, you have no soul, okay? Those people are not diehard fans. No matter what happened Sunday night, they're still going to be rich the next day and go surfing with Chris on the beach in California because somehow everybody that lives in California lives on the beach and surfs and has money, even though they don't even have real jobs. I don't know how that works, but that's if you have any heart or pride in America, you are rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game They've never won a Super Bowl. It's for the people in Northern Kentucky, the people in the entire state of Ohio that have never won a Super Bowl before. So anyway, I just had to get it off my chest here on the show. And I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why I love the Bengals so much, getting the points. All these games have been close games. The Bengals don't blink. They were down 21-3 to the Chiefs. You're going to give me however many 3.5, 4.5 points? You're going to give me more than a field goal? I love the Bengals getting the points in this game. America.
I think the Bengals pass. So I think the Rams are winning the game. I'm not clap. I'm not. I guess I have no soul. That's fair. I think the Rams are winning this game.
That's
it has nothing to do with fandoms or Midwest, Northern Kentucky. By the way, fun fact: the Cincinnati airport actually is located in Northern Kentucky. But I think in general, the handicap of the game pushes me towards the Rams. And yes, the heart might say Joe Burrow for Ohio is going to get them across the finish line and have one last hurrah to win the Bengals their first Super Bowl. That's a great story in, the movie world, the Hollywood land, fake reality world. But in the real football world, this game is won in the trenches, and the Rams have a massive, massive edge there. And I fear for Joe Burrow's safety at some point in this game. I think he is going to be under constant duress. Can he pull a rabbit out of his hat on the final drive of the game and win this for the Bengals? Of course. But that's not the most likely outcome. The most likely outcome in this game is the Rams control the tempo. They control the trenches. Matthew Stafford maybe throws an interception and keeps Cincinnati in it. I don't fully trust him, but I trust who they have up front, and I trust their weapons on the outside, especially the wide receivers against that Bengals secondary. The Bengals front seven's been pretty good. That I think is going to be where Cincinnati could steal this game. If they get constant pressure on Stafford and they pull a turnover out late and they flip the field and give Burrow a short field, obviously Cincinnati can win this game if all of those things happen. But to me, that's not the most likely outcome. So I'm going Rams win, Bengals cover, game stays under, 24-23 final.
Oh my gosh. You've got to be kidding me. That's my exact score.
No, it's not.
I swear to
That's
goodness.
The final score of the game right there.
24-23 Rams. I think the Rams are in a close one. I like the under. I think the defenses are better than people realize. I think there will be some teams held to field goals. I don't foresee a Mahomes, Josh Allen shootout. 24-23 Rams.
Wow.
Jared and I just guarantee that the score will not be 24-23 Rams.
That is
Heard it
great.
here first.
That is amazing, Jared.
That really is pretty
Jared,
amazing.
you just made it sound like the Rams were going to win by 30 points.
No,
before you
tough.
said 24-23, you're like, the Rams are better in the trench. The Rams are going to dominate. I fear for Joe Burrow. It's like,
I do.
24-23?
I think it's going to be a really tight game because I think the
what's going to happen
defense is going to keep them in this game. I think that's the undervalued unit of the four: Rams offense, defense, Bengals offense, defense. I think the Bengals defense is not getting talked about enough, and I think they will keep them in this game. But I do think the Rams.
Ross, what he failed to tell you was he has a 24-23. Evan McPherson with a chance to hit his 8th field goal of the game from 50-plus yards just misses. So they had 7 field goals and a safety in the game.
Nice.
So, yeah. Boys, as we wrap things up on year number 1 of Pickswise Playbook, and we certainly appreciate everybody for consuming the content. We have had a blast here in the first year. I would be remiss if I didn't finish it off with trivia questions. So, 2 trivia questions coming your way. One is just for Ross. We'll get to that momentarily. The first one, and don't be overwhelmed here, please. Matthew Stafford is the 7th quarterback to start a Super Bowl in his first season with the team. The previous 6 quarterbacks are 2-4. Who got the 2 wins?
Brady.
Brady is 1.
Well, hold on a second. What was the stat again? The 7th quarterback to what?
Start a Super Bowl in his first year with a team.
It was Brady's 2nd year.
Not in Tampa Bay, it wasn't.
Good call. Good call.
Who is the other quarterback?
It's not Peyton Manning. That was his, I think, second or third year with the Broncos.
Remember, he lost the Super Bowl with the Broncos before winning one.
Yes.
First year with the team. Oh,
There.
man.
Okay, here's
wait. Does rookies count? Ben Roethlisberger?
Ben Roethlisberger did not make it his rookie year.
Oh,
That was his second year.
Good call.
You ready for a hint?
Yes.
A lot of people say he was strictly along for the ride, and it's hard.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer is correct.
Good call.
I was going to go Trent Dilfer. I didn't know if that was his first year there or not, but that was the only name in my head. Yeah. Boom.
Okay. This is for Ross, my big old offensive lineman. Andrew Whitworth at age 40 will become the oldest offensive lineman to start in a Super Bowl. Who holds the record until Sunday?
I'd have no chance to get this, by the way. 0.
Don't overthink this. Do not.
Bruce Matthews.
Bruce Matthews is correct.
Yes.
That's right.
Boom.
And everybody should celebrate by shaving the hair on your triceps, because that man, you can braid that stuff on the side of his arms. Wow. Okay. Great.
Well done. Well played.
Gentlemen, I'm going to miss you. I don't know what to say. It's been so much fun. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have to get a Wednesday Zoom or Thursday Zoom together in the near future. I don't know. Just to say hi. Probably not. Ross seems like a probably not guy on that, but you never know.
No, I will say this. I do a lot of different things. We all do.
Yeah.
I had a blast doing this show. Hopefully that resonated with the audience. I looked forward to it. And like all of us, my schedule is jammed, but I was like, cool. It's a Pickswise day. Let's do it. I had a ton of fun with you guys. Already looking forward to next year.
Yeah, all of the feedback I've gotten from the show, the chemistry, the way that we present it. Chris, you're amazing. Ross, it's been amazing working with you guys. I look up to both of you in the media world. So it's been a lot of fun this year. And we had a winning year too, which not only did we have fun, but we also won money. That's like the dream combo.
That's kind of the goal here. The goal here. So hopefully we will see you again at the beginning of the 2022 regular season in the month of September. But keep it tuned here to Pickswise, because they have all of your sports needs, every sport out there. NBA, college hoops, hockey, golf, NASCAR, horse racing, whatever you need. Baseball, if we ever get that damn thing.
That reminds me, by the way. We should do, I'm going to talk to the powers that be. We should do an NFL draft betting special.
Definitely. Absolutely.
That's like the best event to win money betting.
Tremendous.
I think everybody's eyes just lit up on that one. So listen, enjoy Super Bowl 56. Listen to our guys when it comes to the props and everything else. Enjoy the Rams and the Bengals on Sunday. And we will all say it together one final time. Now go
win some dough.
See ya.